Now here we are. Turtle wants to call this the Super Bowl that everyone hates because it kind of feels that way a little bit, in that nobody wants to see the Patriots win except for diehard Patriots fans who have been spoiled and who don't deserve to be in the spot, if we're being completely honest, after having a dynasty, multiple dynasties under Tom Brady and Bill Belichick. Here they are 4 years later after giving up on that pairing, and they are back in the Super Bowl, coming off of a questionable schedule, you might say. But this is going to be a game where I have to think that the Seahawks are going to come out confident, come out, with their ears pinned back on defense, ready to take advantage of a lackluster Patriots offensive line and try to get after Drake May and make his life a living hell. The Seahawks have the dogs to do it. So I think that there's a very good chance that this game could be a blowout. But Christian, as somebody who's watched the Seahawks closely this year, give me your read on, this team and what you think is going to be the key to victory at the Super Bowl as our correspondent at the game for the Bulletin Board Sports Podcast.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are going to get their shit kicked in. And said it. I think this is going to be Will Campbell's last game at left tackle in the NFL. And they're probably going to slide Jared Wilson to center, slide Will Campbell to left guard, maybe draft a tackle at 31 overall. The defense really good. I just can't see this offense doing much of anything versus the Seahawks defense. And, Darnold and JSN have felt undeniable all year. So as well as the Patriots have played all year, I can't imagine they're going to be any different for Sam Darnold. I don't think they're going to give any particular problems that you would really expect. So I'm going to take Seahawks by 1 million.
Simple as that. Seahawks by 1 million. It's hard to argue with that. Mike, what's your read on this game? Any props you're looking out for?
Yes, absolutely. There are some props I'm looking out for. But I think off the bat, man, we've seen Drake May with, these disrupted pockets, during the season. And it has not been there. They've not produced, good offensive games against the Chargers, the Texans, and the Broncos. And now you're going to put them up against the best defense in the NFL at this point, going into this. Drake May was able to save a couple of those games on, 10-yard gains on 3rd and 8. And then 25-yard gains against the Broncos. Successful outcomes, but it's like, dude, it's a glass half empty take, but they have not been able to play good offense this entire stretch, during the playoff push. Seahawks defense has been great. We just saw it when they played the Rams in the NFC Championship game. And the Seahawks, to their credit, absolutely piled on them on the offensive side of the ball. So, what it comes down to for me is all it comes down to in this game is the avenues to winning. Where that is, where Drake May has it is if you have time in the pocket, you're able to create, you're able to get outside the pocket, have the tight windows to throw to, hit playmakers down the field. His splits against the defensive coverages that he's going to be seeing against Seattle, it's not going to be there in terms of, what's going to be right in front of him. Are you going to be able to rest on your ability to protect against a 4-man rush when Seattle's going to be bearing down on you even for a team that doesn't even really blitz, just talking about pressure that they're going to be able to get with their front four. And then Drake May's going to have to be able to create, with the secondary that Seattle has. Explosives are going to be able to decide this game. I do like Seattle to cover. I do, however, like Drake May's over rushing prop, which is right now, as I had seen it, I think it was at what I got it at was 20.5. I think it may have gone up a little bit, but just in terms of
He's going to be running for his life.
Exactly. He's going to be running for his life. I think he's going to be able to make a couple plays, extend a couple drives, 20 yards, 2 big scrambles. That's right there for you when you're the Patriots. Another one I really do like, Kenneth Walker for an anytime touchdown. Patriots have struggled in the red zone versus run plays. Walker has been the go-to guy this entire postseason, as we've gotten into it over Charbonnet, which has been, surprising in terms of what they get into when they go into, goal line schemes. He's been the go-to guy. I like Kenneth Walker as an easy anytime touchdown scorer for what I think is going to be able to be because I only see Seattle really throwing this game if you get a Sam Darnold pumpkin game. I just don't think it happens here. He's been way too efficient with passing. The playmakers are way too good. And I think they have a great offensive line, both in run blocking and pass blocking for him. The difference here is, yes, let's give the Patriots a little bit of credit that they've gotten healthy on the defensive side of the ball. They've had 4 straight games where they've actually played, really good. But let's not just forget that Sam Darnold just played a fantastic game against what was a terrific, Rams defense that we thought was going to be probably, the end of him if he didn't play as elite as he was going to play against them. Kenneth Walker's his go-to, outlet for him. Cooper Kupp we saw have a big game. JSN doing his thing. I really think if they wanted to be a run-first offense, they could be. I also got Kenneth Walker as an anytime touchdown scorer in this game. I got Sam Darnold to throw over 1.5 touchdowns and to go over his passing prop, which I think was about at 235 right now. And I had one more. Oh, and then we're talking about JSN in man coverage. He said it about, I think what I got it is about 76. I got him to go over his receiving prop for this one. He's going to be targeted early and often. You've seen him have the explosive plays. They don't have the secondary that's going to be able to – if you're going to play drop zone coverage against JSN and what he's been able to do getting open and how they've been scheming him open and where he's getting the ball at 20, 25 yards down the field, that's going to be covered in 3 quarters. Yeah, I got JSN over the 76.5 passing yards or receiving yards as well.
Moneymaker Mike laying it down for you. This is the quality betting advice that you get here at the Bulletin Board Sports Podcast.
Triple
now
M.
we go to
M.
Turtle here to hear what he has to say.
I was just distracted because it looked like Mike was eating his dinner or something. But anyways, look, I to Mike's point with making bets, I'm gonna wait to bet it because typically this is a very public heavy game. Obviously, it being the Super Bowl, so we typically, you want to bet those overs early if you're going to take overs, and then you want to wait till Sunday probably to bet these unders. I am definitely going under on Drake May's passing yards. Shoulder injury concerns. The Patriots are downplaying it. And, you can make the argument that this is the best defense he's faced all year. I'll obviously make the argument for the Texans, but I don't know where the explosive plays, the explosive downfield passing plays are going to come for Drake May. and I don't think you're going to be able to nickel and dime this Seahawks defense for a large amount of passing yards. I think it's going to be a very gritty offensive play calling game for Josh McDaniels. It's going to be similar to the Patriots Rams Super Bowl that was super low scoring. That's kind of how I see this game script being. And I don't think Drake May is going to throw for a ton of yards against the Seattle defense. So I'm going to go under Drake May passing yards. Saw an interesting prop who got a guy who hasn't gotten a lot of run in the postseason so far. Travion Henderson to have the most rushing yards in the game was 10-1, which I somewhat found intriguing just because it seems like that would be a much lower odds than that. I don't know if I'll take that myself. I just found that number intriguing. But I'll definitely go under on Drake May, possibly over on Ramondre Stevenson carries, just because it seems like that's kind of the guy that the Patriots have settled on, with Travion getting phased out. So over on Ramondre carries, if you're playing that sort of game script, I really like that. As far as the overall game is concerned, I'm a little bit biased because I'm definitely anti-Patriot, especially after that, whatever that playoff game was with the Texans that I'm sure we'll get to in the offseason. Still angry about it. But I think Seattle is the more complete football team. Seattle's the better football team. I like Seattle to win. If I had to take anything game-wise, I like the under 45.5. It opened up at 46.5. It's down a little bit already. I think it's going to be lower scoring. I think if you're going to take any side or total, I like the under. Look to go under certain props, like I mentioned Drake May, but under on certain guys you think would go over. I think Stephon Diggs unders might make a little bit of sense too. You can get the correlation with Drake May under passing yards. Those sort of props, what I would look for. But yeah, I like Seattle in this, but I do like the under 45.5 is my best ticket play, and under Drake May passing yards.
Very interesting, because I was just about to ask to wrap this up our final score predictions that you go with under 45.5, because my final score will be 31-13. Seattle Seahawks putting an absolute beating on the New England Patriots. Christian, what do you got for your score prediction here?
Yeah, I like something similar to that, like a somewhere in the 30s, could even be high 30s, like a 37 to 11 type score, 37 to 14 type score.
I would relish in that moment. Those squares are going to be so interesting if that's anybody who does squares, their family or friends, a 37-11 final. That's got to be a scoregami of some sort.
Yeah.
Do I hear a safety in there? Is that what I'm sensing from that?
Yeah, you're probably getting 8-1 at that.
Must be.
You're probably getting 8-1 on that bet, Christian, if you want to bet a safety. You know what? I might take Seattle defense to score just for fun. Just since we're a big Julian Love podcast, I think I will take Julian Love to get an interception just for fun. Maybe I get like 7-1 or something. Why not? My final score is going to be 23-13 Seattle.
Yeah, mine's gonna be 30-17 Seattle.
There you go. All right, so Mike's taking the over. Christian seems like he's taking the over. That's what I'm hearing from those scoring predictions.
Yeah, Christian would take Seattle getting to that number by themselves.
Right.
I think,
Yeah, apparently so.